You know, generative AI, it's changing everything, from the way we work to how we create. But as this incredible technology gets woven into the fabric of our lives, it brings up this huge question. How do we make sure it's safe, fair, and actually working for us, not against us? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to explore the blueprint for building a truly trustworthy AI future.
Okay, so here's the game plan. First, we'll get right into the core challenge that AI presents. Then we're going to dive into the 4 big pillars of the solution, making AI secure, responsible, trustworthy, and explainable. And to wrap it all up, we'll look at how this blueprint is already being put into action to build our AI future. So let's get right into the challenge. And look, this is not some far-off theoretical problem. Generative AI is already a massive force in super-critical areas. We're talking healthcare, finance, even education. And that massive influence, that's precisely why we need a clear set of rules.
Which really brings us to the central question, right? We see the incredible potential of AI absolutely everywhere, but there's still that nagging doubt. Can we really trust it with the important stuff? And the thing is, the answer to that? It all comes down to the rules we decide to build around it.
Because, let's be honest, the risks are very real, and they're not coming, they're already here. We're talking about misinformation that can spread like wildfire, algorithms that soak up and amplify human biases, and huge security gaps that can expose our most sensitive data. And hey, when an AI messes up, who's on the hook for it? Without a solid plan, these risks go from being possibilities to, well, near certainties.
And that is exactly where GAI governance comes in. This is the solution. The best way to think about it is like a master rulebook. It's a mix of smart policies, technical guardrails, and constant monitoring. It's what takes us from just hoping AI is safe to actually ensuring that it is. Okay, so that brings us to our first pillar, AI security. If governance is the rulebook, then security is the shield. It's that critical first line of defense protecting these amazing systems from all the threats out there. So what are we really talking about with AI security? Well, it's the whole practice of protecting every single part of an AI system, the data it learns from, the model itself, everything from being attacked or stolen. And it's not a one-time thing, it's for the entire life cycle, right from the drawing board all the way to when you're using it.
And believe me, the threats out there are getting super clever. Take something like model poisoning. It's basically like secretly feeding a guard dog bad food so it can't do its job properly. Or prompt injection, which is like using a secret magic word to trick the AI into ignoring all its safety rules. Yeah, these aren't your run-of-the-mill hacks. They're super targeted attacks against the very core of how AI works. All right, on to our second pillar, responsible AI. So we've got our shield, right? Now we need a moral compass. This is all about making sure the AI we build is deeply rooted in ethics and that it actively works to be fair. What this really means is that we have to intentionally build systems that reflect our best values as society. It's a promise, really, to make sure every AI we create is fair, accountable, and transparent in how it operates. And the number one principle here, AI has got to be human-centric. It's really simple. The tech serves us. It's built to respect human rights, protect our dignity, and make our lives better, not the other way around.
And right alongside that is fairness and justice. You've probably heard this, but it's so true. An AI is only as good as the data it learns from. And if that data is full of historical biases about race or gender or anything else, the AI will learn those biases, and it might even make them worse. Responsible AI means we have to actively fight against that.
Now, this isn't just some vague, fluffy idea. There's actually a practical way to do this. It's a clear process. First, you define the groups you need to protect. Next, you pick how you're going to measure fairness. Then, you actually measure to see if there are any performance gaps. If you find bias, you use special techniques to reduce it. And maybe the most important part? Step 5. You keep checking, over and over again. It's a constant cycle of improvement.
Okay, which brings us perfectly to pillar number 3, trustworthy AI. I mean, think about it. You can have the most secure, most responsible AI in the world, but if nobody trusts it, it's completely useless. This is all about building that confidence through solid reliability. So what does it even mean for an AI to be trustworthy? Well, it's a few things. It means it's reliable, so it does what you expect every time. It's verifiable, so you can actually check its work. It's resilient, so it doesn't just crash when it sees something weird. And all of that rests on a foundation of transparency and accountability.
And one of the coolest tools for making this happen is something called a model card. Seriously, think of it just like a nutrition label on your food. It tells you what ingredients went into the AI, what it's good at, what its limitations are, and how it was tested. It's a super simple yet incredibly powerful tool for building trust. And that transparency idea, it leads us right into our fourth and final pillar, explainable AI. This, to me, is one of the most fundamental things, the right to an answer, the right to know why. Why was my loan denied? Why did it suggest this diagnosis? We have a right to know.
And this is not just a nice to have. The numbers are absolutely staggering. Check this out. A whopping 73% of people demand to know the reason why an AI made the decision it did. It's a basic expectation.
And here's the kicker. When you give them that explanation, user trust goes through the roof. We're talking an 89% increase. That's how powerful knowing why really is.
And this isn't just about what users want anymore. The regulators are stepping in. 65% of new governance rules for AI actually require this kind of transparency. So yeah, the whole black box AI thing, its days are numbered.
Okay, so we've got our 4 pillars: security, responsibility, trust, and explainability. So now let's pull this all together and see how we take these big ideas and turn them into real-world action.
If you look around the world, you can see these pillars starting to take shape, but in slightly different ways. So you have the European Union. They're taking a risk-based approach with their big AI Act. Over in the US, it's being framed around an AI Bill of Rights for citizens. And in China, the focus is on content safety. The methods are different, but the goal is exactly the same: create a solid rulebook. And for any company or organization out there listening, there's a pretty clear playbook to follow. It really starts at the top by setting up a committee and doing a deep dive risk assessment. Then you get into the practical stuff, building policies, using monitoring tools, training your whole team, and this is key, you never stop monitoring and improving. It's a living, breathing process. So here we are. We have the blueprints, we know the risks, and we have the pillars to build a safe, trustworthy AI future. The big question left isn't if we can do this, but who is responsible for building it. And look, the easy answer is everyone, right? But the harder truth is that this huge shared responsibility, it really starts with each and every one of us demanding and helping to build an AI that we can all genuinely trust.